Hi, y'all. My name is Eileen Nicole. I just wanted to come on here and talk about a little bit about just some of the stuff that I've been seeing online. I spend a lot of time on YouTube, not a lot, but like some of my free time I spend on YouTube. And when I am on YouTube, I try to listen to things that are empowering, things that are going to help me grow in my life, things that I find interesting. And one of those things that I find interesting is Black empowerment. Not just interesting, but things that I would like to be a part of, to be, a part of the growth of the Black community and listening to the voices of my fellow, community members, whether they're online or offline. But over the past couple of years, I've been really seeing a lot of people going from being empowered and really kind of blessing the community with some of those things. Not everything, but more so what used to be, where people were much more empowering and they were more willing to give positive feedback, and they would call out just different things that they saw, but it was never really this disdain or hatred towards our own community. I'm seeing it way more now, more than I would like to see it, and so that's why I'm on here making this video, because I just feel like, why is this change happening? It's coming from just different content creators that I see on YouTube. And I just kind of I wrote some notes down just to keep myself, in line with what I'm talking about here. But Black empowerment is no longer empowering. I just, you know, again, I used to be able to watch a podcast, and it doesn't have to be some big podcast, but just a podcast about, just talking, just talking about things that are important to us. It doesn't have to be some huge podcast, but even even in the smallest corners, it's just this hatred just creeping up in our hearts and minds, and it's so disempowering and hurtful, and it's disheartening to see. Um, so um, so basically, from the time of like before before our time, before we were all born, we've seen the stories, we've read the stories of empowerment that happened through Dr. King's time, through Malcolm X, through Huey P. Newton and the Black Panthers, and we've seen all of these different things that have come, and they blessed the community with what they had, the good things. But there were also some really treacherous times. But it was never it was never turned inward in a way that it almost feels like we're reaching a point of no return towards our own people, towards our own. And I'm not talking about rogues that are out here, roguing it up and doing things. And I'm talking about the real Black people that get up and go to work every day. The Black people that stand on that have the courage to go online and talk about these types of things. The regular Black people that stand out the way, that keep their heads down and get their work done, that take care of their families. These types of Black people I'm seeing more and more every day, that are hedging up on the hatred for one another. And it to me, I feel like it's coming to a head, like to where there's going to be a point of no return. So I just wanted to talk about that. It is a lot of content creators. These creators will make videos, like in particular, I want to talk about leadership. Like, they will say things like, they will make videos about calling out bad actors in the Black community, rogues. And these are people that set themselves up as leaders, but they're not leaders. These people will make videos and they'll sit there and they'll say, okay, like for instance, like with Umar Johnson, there are people that do good videos on him, like Lyndon Honor. He does great videos on him. But then there are other people who do videos on him who I would think are responsible people, um, and they'll call out some of the stuff that he's doing. But this one content creator, and I've seen it in multiple content creators, they'll call out what the person is doing, the bad thing that they're doing, or bad things that they're doing, a little bit of it, and then they'll go in on the people who either are not doing anything, like that are not supporting this person, or some of their supporters. But then they'll target the whole Black community, and I'm just like, well, what the hell what's going on? How did you turn left so fast? Like, what's happening? The whole Black community is not responsible for this person and the way that he conducts himself, and the whole Black community is not responsible for the people that sponsor him, the people that are kind of like mesmerized by his words. The whole Black community is not to blame for that. So why is it this is happening more and more? The victim blaming, because these people are being mesmerized. They're being mesmerized by this fake leader, Umar Johnson. He's a fake leader. And the reason why he's a fake leader is because he doesn't produce anything. He doesn't produce what he says he's going to do. So then how come we're not calling out not only the fact that he is not producing what he say he's going to do, but pointing out the people who do say that who do what they say they're going to do, and focusing on that instead of blaming people and trying to shame people. I'm like, first of all, I wasn't raised like that. I don't respond well to someone trying to shame me. That's a point. That is a tool of control. When someone is trying to shame you into doing something that they think is the right thing, and it may well be the right thing, but shaming someone into doing something is not sustainable. Shaming somebody into doing something is not the way that you're going to get masses of people to do the right thing. You're worse than the person that you say is doing the bad thing, because now you're using the same tactics and you're setting yourself up as somebody else that is doing the right thing, but you're doing the same dirty, nasty tactics to target your own community. And this shit pisses me off. Like, why are we doing this? I'm telling you, it's getting to a point of no return. I have some different things that I want to talk to y'all about, and I wrote some notes down. Again, I'm just trying to make this a quick video. So here are 5 warning signs that you can look out for when you're looking at not just these toxic leaders and these charlatans and these fake people who say that they're about one thing and they're really not. They're about nothing. They're really not about nothing but taking whatever they can from you. So you want to watch out for them, but you also want to watch out for people who act as if they are for you, but they're not for you, because they're going to try to shame you into doing the right thing instead of just putting the truth out there and allowing you to make the choice, you to make the decision. I feel like I know you're smart enough to see it. It just needs to be presented in a way that makes sense. And maybe you haven't come to that conclusion yet, and that's okay. But to sit there and shame you, I feel like that's dirty. That's dirty. That's nasty work right there, fam. And let's get to the 5 warning signs. So the first one is excessive focus on money or personal gain. We know Umar Johnson does this. He's always talking about get on your Cash App, get on your PayPal. Like he's always listen. I couldn't deal with a man in my life that said that to me. I mean, just imagine that this person like Umar Johnson is talking to you one-on-one, and he just randomly tells you to get on your Cash App or get on your PayPal. Like, what are you talking about? I don't even know you like that. I don't care what cause you're going to. If I can't listen, there needs to be more than one way that I can contribute other than getting on my Cash App and getting on my PayPal, because I feel like I want to see some of the work that I'm contributing to your project. And if money is the only way, then I would want to see where that money goes. And if I can't see that, then I'm going to need a different way to contribute. Dr. Whatever, if he is a doctor, Umar Johnson because he lies so much. I don't know. If he is a doctor, fine, but I just don't think he deserves that respect. I mean, there's a certain level of professionalism and respect that comes with that degree, and it's not just the paperwork that you finish to get the piece of paper. It comes with your morals. It comes with your moral compass, your maxim, your ethos, the way you live your life. I'm not calling you that. Um, so they constantly ask for money, or and then they offer, and then they guilt shame you and tell you, oh well, we're building a school for black boys. Like, oh my gosh, listen. um so the promise is never obtained after a certain, like a certain amount of time. Like a goal has to have a time frame. If you just continue to talk, that's not no goal. That's not no goal. That's just you talking and selling me a dream, your dream. Because I remember there was a time when I listened to Umar until he started calling black people trifling, and I was like, I don't respond to people like that. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way, and then I'm just going to be still sitting here sitting in your face. So no, they'll use guilt or fear. The second one is manipulative tactics. Again, fear, guilt, shame. Or your black boys, if you don't send them to Umar, then they're going to fall by the wayside. Even though Umar himself is by the wayside, why would you want your children over there? I know you don't want your children over there, but he thinks that you don't see him by the wayside, but he is. He is. And not just him, it's other ones too, like Charleston White. He's another charlatan who gets up here and he just talks cash change about the black community. It's absolutely wild that he gets to get on all these podcasts just to talk cash change about the black community. I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Why are there so many people allowing this to happen? I'm talking about leaders, people who have large voices, people who have influence, right? They are allowing all of this for the black community to be shamed, guilt tripped, and fear mongered, and to doing whatever it is that they want them to do, which is to just listen to more rhetoric, because it's never a solution. So, I mean, and you can say, people say, oh, well, Charleston White has organization, but how does that affect you in your day-to-day life? Because he's affecting your day-to-day life when he gets up there and talks cash change. He has the ability to influence you one way or another. So what about that organization? Is that influence you one way or another? No. Okay, so then he can influence you negatively on one end, but on the other end, that doesn't. That's a no-go. No. And the third one is a lack of accountability. These people, they pass the blame off to other people. Charleston White blames all the rappers for the way that the environment that they grew up in. And I'm not saying there's no level of accountability for people, the way that they conduct themselves. But what I'm saying is that the only problem, there's only a problem. There's always only a problem, and the solution is them talking about it. And that's why they can continue to talk about it, because nothing's ever going to get done. Nothing's ever going to get done. Lack of accountability. And then also with the lack of accountability, they'll attack you if you ask any questions, logical questions, mind you, about what they're saying and how to come to a reasonable resolution. Like, I seen this video with Umar Johnson, and he was, this woman asked him a question about how to fight white supremacy in modern times. And he told her, the response was, you're asking me how to take money from a white man to beat the white man. I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? That wasn't the question she was asking. The reason why he didn't answer the question is because he didn't have an answer. Because as much as he's talking about white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, it's not as much of a threat as he would like it to be, because too many black people are out here prospering. It ain't just one of us. Multiple black people are prospering out here. Yes, there's still some hills and mountains to climb. Yes, there are. And I wouldn't say that there aren't levels or of systemic oppression, okay? But we're not slaves and we're not in slavery. I would call it levels of certain oppression, and that we're still chipping away at, till this day. But we're never going to continue to chip away and get rid of it if we're sitting here complaining about white supremacy and then not doing anything about it. But white supremacy isn't really the boogeyman that you think it is. What the real boogeyman is not finding any reasonable resolutions to oppression. Because, like, listen, because of Dr. King, because of Malcolm X, because of Huey P. Newton, we are formidable opponents to oppression. Don't forget that. We are formidable opponents to oppression. This is in our blood. Why are we allowing these people who are weak cowards to tell us that, the white man just won? No, he didn't. And what white man? What phantom white man? Because it's not just one. It's a system. It isn't a color. It's a system. It isn't a color. And people within that system of many colors can choose to use it against you or not. This happens in every walk of life. And I'm not saying that white people can't use it against you because you're black, and because that does give them advantage, but also black people can use it against you because you're black too. And white people can use it against other white people. It's a system that has been built. It's a demonic system of oppression. And anybody can use it at will for whatever reason they want to. If they want to use it for white supremacy, they can use it for white supremacy. But also, there are people that are within that system that are not with that smoke, and they're not going to allow it to oppress anybody, because they're there gatekeeping and making sure that good people can get through. So, and that's the chipping away that we've done, and not just black people, but that's the chipping away that the good people of this country have done. So let's get to the fourth one, which is cult of personality. So the cult of personality is everything revolves around this leader. Like, like they lightweight want like a Jim Jones cult. That's lightweight. That's what they really want. But they're not going to come out and say it. Like, come on, like, that would be too obvious. So they continually repeat things multiple times, or they will continually reiterate the same points. Like their message does not evolve. How much have you evolved? Just ask yourself, if I listen to Umar Johnson, how much have I evolved from when he initially started to talk, when he initially started to present his message? I would say that we initially started to evolve when we understood that from views from the other side, we're seeing that there is potentially, bad actors that are up against our children still in modern times. Because I had a son in kindergarten, first, second grade, when he first came out, right? And so I was seeing some of these things, and so that's why I was listening to him initially. And then I kept hearing him talk about a school or whatever, but nothing ever happened. So I was like, well, I have people in my family that are teachers and who are educators. So I went to them. I'm just like, what other things can we do? And I got suggestions from them. That's what I would suggest you do. If you really are in a situation where you're having a tough time with your child, I did. There's resources out there. You can actually reach out to my son's teacher. I reached out to my son's teacher, and I learned that just working with the teacher, and then the teacher will tell whoever, whatever staff, psychologist, therapist, whatever that you're trying to work with. See, this is what I learned. A lot of teachers are shocked when parents are getting involved, like more than just going to the parent teacher conference and more than just getting their child to do their homework. But when I would go up there and sit in my son's class, when I would sit there and I would talk to the teacher after school, when I would participate in student, activities, these teachers are shocked when you're actually involved in more than just the bare minimum. That's no shade to anybody because we all have busy lives. But the point is that you would be surprised how much you can get done with just working with the teacher and not having to rely on these fake phony liars online telling you that the problem is the teachers when it's not the teachers. It's not the teachers. Really, the problem is the hurdle that you need to get over with you and your child and the teacher. It's really all three of you. It's really all three of you. And that's how I worked through my son's issues all throughout school. And he passed, and he not only passed them, I remember one time in his fifth, because again, we went through all this throughout the years because I was like, I'm not going to rely on somebody to help me that I don't even know. But I remember my son came home from school because one of his biggest problems was math. And I remember him coming home from school and telling me, Mom, because we had went on YouTube and found just different ways to do worker problems and his homework problems. And it wasn't just him having a problem. It was a couple of kids in his class having problems. So he helped some of his friends with the problem. His teacher asked him to get up there to the front of the board and teach the kids the other way to do the homework problems. And I'm just like, and he was so excited because he knew what to do. He knew how to do the problem, and every time it would come out right because of the method that we were using. And I mean, just those things like that. And this happened throughout my son's life in school. But we can't just depend on these particular people. There's other resources that we can look for and look to get a thing done. And there's one thing about parents that are actually in our children's lives. We're going to make sure that our children succeed. Okay. It's totally logical that you're looking online and you may find this person and you may think that they have skills because he says that he has skills on paper, but in action, he don't have skills. In action, he does not have skills. And let's get to the last one. But that's the point of that, the cult of personality. The only reason why people are listening to him is because of his personality, not because he has any transferable skills that's going to help you in your household, in your day-to-day life. How is Umar's skills, or Charleston White, or any other Plancher person that you're listening to, how are what they're talking about, their rhetoric, how is that going to help you evolve in your day-to-day life? How is that going to help you progress in your day-to-day life? And how is that helping you overall? How is that helping you move forward instead of move back in your life? You have to ask yourself that all the time, especially when you go on YouTube, because you can get sucked into people's content and you don't want to be involved in some type of cult. And unfortunately, that's what he's building. Anyway, the last one is isolating followers from outside perspectives. Now, Umar Johnson does this. And I don't want to just make this about him, but that's eventually what is coming up. Because he's looking like a real cult leader. Listen, when Umar Johnson says, I only want to... I'm only talking to my supporters. I'm only talking to my supporters. I'm not talking to my donors. That's what we call them, donors. Like, what the? He said he's only talking to his donors. This is what he says. Or he'll talk about black women. What did he say? Something, black women forever. Nobody's. I mean, it's absurd. Like, what? So he's, again, isolating his donors and then the donors, which are mostly black women, from any other type of woman. So again, he's isolating you 2 times so that you feel so special and warm and fuzzy inside that now you're just going to give to him. And then now when he says get on your Cash App and get on your PayPal, you saying, you talking to me because I'm not only a donor, but I'm a black woman and it's Black women forever, and it's absolute. I'm telling you, I can't even say it. It's so stupid. It's so stupid to me. I don't care what your preference is. What are you talking? We're talking about children here. We're not talking about romance and dating. Like, why are you even talking about this? I feel like he is all over the place all the time. And ladies, black women, us, me, you, we need to stay focused and get out of these men's faces that ain't about to do nothing. I know. I already know. I'm going to get someone under the comments and say, see, that's why we can't never do nothing. That's why we can't never do nothing, because we always bringing each other down. I'm sorry, but do you want to be with a cult leader that never does anything? Is that your type of person? A person or personality that is drawn in a cult that says one thing, does another, does not hold himself accountable, and nobody has progressed through what he said. Like, he says that people are going to be progressing through that school. Not one child has progressed through that school. Not one. Not one. That's your type of person, then you might not want to be on this channel. You might want to go somewhere else, because this is the Success Express. I mean, we're moving forward. We're not about to sit here and wait on some nincompoop who's promising the world and ain't gonna never deliver, because he can't even give it to himself. And I go for any other person. Insert your personality here. Anybody else. I wanted to make this as short as I could, but I kind of went a little bit longer. But yeah, I just was really frustrated the fact that content creators get up here and they say, oh, well, these leaders are bad, but you people who support them and you people who are not even involved in any of this, it's y'all's fault, it's y'all's problem, and they'll find a way to turn it on the whole black community. And I just really get frustrated about that. But also the people who support this person, I don't know if you just have not gotten all the information that you needed, because I know that that's a real thing. You need to get information you need to disengage or detach yourself from a liar. But also, giving you time to make that decision on your own. I don't want you to feel ashamed for giving someone a chance, giving someone a try. That's what you're supposed to do. But what I would implore you to do is take inventory of what someone is saying and what someone is doing, and see if those two match, because they need to match for them to be a person of integrity. And that's what you're looking for. They don't have to be considered a leader, just a general person. We need to have integrity. You need to be able to at least trust what I'm saying to you. You know what I mean? Anyway, what's the point of talking? If everything you say is a lie, like, I'm not about to sit in your face, Anyway, maybe that's just me. Well, what do you think? Do you think that we should just allow people to run amok in the community and nobody gets to say nothing? But those same people can just have their way with the people that are most vulnerable among us, people who maybe are unassuming or don't know. Do you think that they should be allowed to do whatever they want and nobody have no professional critique? Right? So I'm not critiquing his personal appearance, his personal life. I'm critiquing the fact that he says that he's going to do something and he doesn't. I'm critiquing the fact that these content creators say they're holding people who say they're going to do something accountable, and then they end up blaming the whole black community. I feel like that's even worse. So what do y'all think? Do you think we should just shut up? Because I'm not going to shut up, but I just want to know what your answer is. Put it in the comment section below. See you guys later. Let me know if you want to see more black people videos, because this over here on this channel, we typically talk about ways to be successful in life. All right, bye.